Hey photo world, welcome back to another episode here on takeandtalkpics.com. This is another episode from the former podcast. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join the email list. Let's get to that 1,000 subscriber marker so that way I can add a new video every single week. Enjoy. Hey photo world, takeandtalkpics.com. This is episode 47 featuring wedding photographer Ben Chernivsky.
You need to pitch it in a way that shows it's going to be a valuable avenue for them.
Hey photo world, today's featured guest is Ben Chernivsky. Ben, are you ready to rock today?
Oh, baby, I am.
Ben is a wedding photographer and owner of thisisfeeling.com. Ben's philosophy is quality over quantity. He uses this strategy in the building of his business, and Ben, along with his team of 3 photographers, capture nearly 100 weddings per year with that same high standard. Ben, welcome to Take and Talk Pics.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you you invited me. I'm really excited to talk with you about wedding photography and business and all this good stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely the business and getting your story out there. And can you start us off just by introducing yourself further? Because I've barely said anything about you and especially what you're doing. So,
yeah. Well, I am an ordinary fellow. I live out in the west suburbs of Chicago. I love the suburbs of Chicago. But I do have a studio in the city, so I do get out to the center of life every now and then. But yeah, I mean, man, that's a loaded question for me to just talk about myself. I could. Wait, like, what part of me do you want to
know? Maybe everything. I don't know. That could be dangerous, right? So.
Oh man, I will need a few hours throughout maybe a lifetime.
Yeah, I guess this isn't a dating service, so we can cool it back a little bit. But
all right.
So we're about sharing your story and specifically your business journey and the ups and downs that go with it. Can you start us off with sharing some inspiration, maybe a quote or mantra that you live by or run your business by?
Yeah, man. The thing that's really been juicing me for the last year or two is it's not about me. That's my mantra. Every single time I run into a situation, and I say it a lot, Rob, it just constantly going through my head. Ben, it's not about you, man.
That's one little thing I've picked up from the better wedding photographers that I've worked with and learned about, that they kind of feel that same way, that when they're doing weddings, it's definitely not about them. And the ones that think it is about them, they seem to struggle. You know, they have a tough time making it work.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say, like, it's really hard to generalize, about like the wedding photography community, but for sure, like I do notice that a lot of people, I'm not even talking about other people, I'm talking about myself. I made it about myself for a very, very, very long time. It was about being better. It was about being a little bit different. It was about my craft. It was about creating prettier photographs. It was about the competition. It was about upping other people in very non-aggressive, like sincere ways
Right.
that wouldn't seem threatening to other photographers. But you know, the animal in me really, really, really wanted to be on top for a very long time, and yeah, it was a very, very beautiful transition when I did realize one day that, you know what, it's not about me, man. And even before I was a wedding photographer, the dumb thing is, Rob, like I noticed these things, like even before I was a wedding photographer, I was studying to be a photojournalist, and I was just every single time I met a photojournalist I really, really looked up to, or someone that I loved, it just blew my mind how nice they were, how they didn't want to talk about photography. They just had normal questions,
Yeah.
And they were just very normal people. And I remember that really, like, that being, I mean, that did set the precedent for how I approach wedding photography. Slightly in the back of my head, I was always like, be a nice person, Ben, be a nice person. The photographers I look up to the most are nice people. So yeah, it's definitely not like a common mantra in the wedding photography industry. And I'd like to get it out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, no, a lot more.
A lot more. Yeah. Let everybody know. And if we back it up a little bit, like to the early days, what inspired you enough to pick up a camera and take this on as a career?
Definitely. Well, specifically as a career, money. I was making money. But the things that allowed me to choose the career option, and okay, here, let me put this a different way. What made me pick up the camera is way different than what allowed me to choose this as a career. I mean, when it's a common story, man. Like, 5-year-old Ben sitting in front of National Geographics, to like looking at all these exotic photos, seeing the world. That's the source, man, for sure. Like seeing the world, seeing something that is uncommon, something that is unfamiliar. That seriously, like picking up a camera was like seeing a new gateway into the world for me. But I honestly did not really pick up a camera until I was in college. When I went to college at DuPage, that's when I picked up my first professional camera, a film camera, when I took a photo 100 class. And it was after a lot of putting it aside. Like I took a lot of ceramic and art classes in high school. I signed up for a photography class in high school, but like my sister had a camera and she was traveling the world and I didn't know how to get a hold of her. So I let that stop me. So I put my photography, my photography on hold, or my desire to be a photographer on hold in high school. But part of me is really happy that I waited until I got to college at DuPage to really pick up a camera, because I feel like I understood myself a little bit more and who I was. And that was a pretty important part about what I'm doing with photography right now, and a part of my photography journey.
Yeah, I like when people look back and they kind of go, I'm glad it happened that way. And it's so much easier to feel that way now than it was then. Like, oh, did I do it wrong starting a little bit too late or something? And it's good to appreciate, what was to lead you to here today. So I think that's a good perspective on life. So.
Yeah. But to be clear, how to choose it as a career, because I could make money off of it, and I saw potential. I took a few random jobs from friends. I did the $300. I did the free wedding. I did the $300 wedding. I did the many $600 weddings as a college student, and it was just like, hey, I can make money off of this. And then when I had to make a decision to specialize in something, I was like, yeah, I can make money off this, and I love the craft of photography. So that was the specifics.
Yeah.
When it comes to making that decision.
Yeah, so maybe right before you decided to specialize, something like this came up, but can you recall a failure moment, something that you had to learn the hard way and you're better for it now in your photography business?
Dude, yeah. Every single time I write a long email, that is a failure to me, man. Yes, every day. I really feel like I'm failing every day, Rob.
Yeah.
And that's a big. That's you. Who doesn't fail, man? Who doesn't make mistakes? But yeah, I've two things that definitely stick out. Almost missing a wedding ceremony, due to traffic. I will never, ever do that again. This was way back in the day, before I was a professional, and I had taken a wedding photography job. And God bless that bride, because I really did show up about 3 minutes before she walked down the aisle. Wow. And she was calm and cool and was totally understanding about it. But it was a feeling that wrenched my heart. I never want to feel that again. And then I hate saying it, man, but people do it. Double booking a wedding. It's a terrible feeling.
Oh no.
Yeah. When I first. I think it was my second year as a full-time wedding photographer. I double booked a wedding, and I had to confront it, and I really struggled with it personally, how to deal with it. Like, should I be honest about it? Should I do the white lie? So much just goes through your mind about how to handle that. And I know other photographers struggle with the same thing. I've talked to other photographers that are working through the same.
What did you go with? Did you choose the honesty?
I did, man. I talked to the
toughest one, but the right one.
I talked to someone I I work with this really wonderful spiritual practitioner, and I called her just kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't know what to do. And she just really set it straight for me. She really helped me get some clarity about what was important. So yeah, I just emailed dumb me. I should have called the bride, but back then I emailed the bride. I was just very clear with her. I told her what I did, what was wrong. But I will say I made up for it big time. We had already done the engagement session. I gave that to her on the house. I returned her deposit. I offered her a really nice linen 8x8 engagement session book that was worth about $800. So I'm not trying to say what I did was right, but like I did my best to give her a positive experience at the end. And I also helped her find the right photographer. So damage control, man. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Feels like there's a little bit of that every day, I think, just making sure you're on top of everything. And I get that fear of double booking. So I'm always on my calendars and making sure everything's up to date. I won't respond to an email on my phone just to put it off, making sure I can get it in both of my scheduling softwares. Like it's ridiculous. So.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a tough lesson. It's a rookie lesson. It's a tough lesson. And if you really care about what you do, it's a lesson you only learn once.
Yeah.
I hope.
Right. Yeah. Careful. You don't want to, don't want to jinx it, knock on wood or something.
Yeah. Boom.
So we have a wide range of photographers listening. And Ben, can you share with Photo World one thing you think would lead to growth and success in a photography business, regardless of their current level?
Yeah, for sure. It has nothing to do with photography, man. It's actually just become a new person every single day. Get out of yourself. We're born as these habitual little animals, and so many people just fall into those habits. And yeah, just get out of yourself every single day. Do your best to learn from other people, learn from your own experience. But yeah. It's an answer I could go on and on about, but yeah, become a new person every day.
Yeah, Photo World. I had Ben come and speak to my wedding photography class over at College of DuPage, and he said we're creatures of habit, and we have to break those. And I think that goes along with what you're saying now. We gotta become a new person. We gotta grow. You have to grow. You got to do it on your own, making the choice. So there are no secrets, and I think that's kind of cool.
Oh, totally, man. And it's like you say, is there one thing that will lead to growth and success?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is growth and success.
Right.
That's it. You can't buy a new iPhone 6, and that's not going to lead to growth and success.
Right.
Creating a Facebook page is not going to lead to growth and success. Getting a Nikon D4 or D4S is not going to lead to growth and success. There are no tricks. There are no tools, I don't think, that will really help you get out of your own habits, except for realizing that you have to get out of your own habits and getting out of them. Yeah.
I love it. And it's so simple. It's almost bland. It's perfect, and like we need that touch of reality that, it can be that easy. Just go and decide, Photo World, go do it. It's time.
Or don't, because if you don't,
more for us.
It's more for us, man.
And there's a lot of us out there who are happy with that. So
yeah.
I don't think there's one aha moment or a defining turning point, but I think there's many of them in a photography career that kind of stand out as when I made that change, oh my gosh, everything just shifted and it was so much better. Can you recall a time where something like that happened to you? Yes,
definitely. I literally did have like a aha moment, and it was the aha moment. And yeah, I was out in Denver at a business conference for photographers called Business is an Art Form. This was back in May of 2013. And there were a bunch of speakers there, and this one guy named Steve Saporito and his business partner Kelly. It was after the first day, I think, and we were all just hanging at the lounge and just chatting like photographers do at the end of a day of even talking more. So after the presentations, we were just hanging out, and Kelly actually asked me. She was talking about how she teaches other photographers to show their value to clients, and she said, "Can I show you what we do?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." Those weren't the words that she said, but that's how I remember it. And she said, "So you're married?" I was like, "Yeah." And what's her name? It's Vanessa. So Vanessa's my wife. And she said, so what is it that you love about Vanessa? Boom. And that was, that was the aha moment. Because, I know that it might sound so plain and vanilla, but for me, that was a life-changing question because, no one had ever asked me that question. No photographer had asked me that question.
Mm-hmm.
No one had asked me, like, what about your relationship do you love? What about your wife do you love? And instantly, like, this just world just opened up in my head of, oh my gosh, I've been approaching photography totally wrong this entire time. Because I couldn't answer that question for all the clients I'd photographed prior to her asking me that. And that was it was sort of humiliating, but also incredibly inspiring.
Right.
Because it really did answer my question. Like, what am I I was sitting there like, I haven't even known, I didn't even know what I was doing with my camera. And now I feel like I have a better idea of what I'm doing with my camera. And that was really, really scary for me. Because at the time, I thought I was successful. At the time, I was booking 30-something weddings a year. I felt really good about what I was doing and where I was going. But at the same time, I was sitting there, I was like, holy shit, I almost am, well, I am realizing right now that I didn't really know what I was doing.
Right.
So it was a very, very big like aha moment where I just woke up to this new world of what I could be doing.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And actually, I think it's really inspiring to get that and remind wedding photographers out there who may be on the fence about it that it goes right along with the whole, it's not about you. You know, you get involved in finding out their story, the couple's story, and because your job is to capture it. I mean, we should be so involved more than anyone else on their wedding day, you know, like when we usually are, you spend more time with the bride than the groom most wedding days, you know, like that's how they go. And that's a really intense moment for you as a business person, as a photography studio, you know, kind of feeling not high and mighty, but you know what, I think I'm doing it. I'm doing okay and I'm rocking it and let's go. And then, you know, little value bombs explode in your mind and you're like, what do I do now? Like, I gotta take it to the next level. Oh, I didn't know there was, you know?
Yeah.
So I think
And it was
awesome.
it was so cool too, because she didn't tell me what she did.
Right.
She just showed me what she did or what she does.
And it clicked for you where a lot of other people, it may not click. Some others it could, you know, and it just, it's being in that moment where you hear the thing that works, that aha moment comes when you least expect it for sure. So that's amazing. So I don't know. Yeah. I hope somebody just out there in photo world is like, oh my gosh, Ben just gave me my aha moment. So you know, that's what we're looking for. And to kind of shift it a little bit off the questions, I prep everybody I interview with some questions, but off the questions, you have a blog post and I was reading through it and I just thought it was genius. And I wanted you to kind of expand upon it a little bit. And it's titled, Why One Photograph is Better Than 1,000. Can you kind of touch upon that a little bit and explain to photo world what that really means?
Yeah. Geez, I wrote that a long time ago. And it shows you how bad I am at blogging, which is something I'm working on. But it is, I remember when I wrote that, I was really, really passionate about it. I honestly, if I recall that blog post is definitely about, it's actually not to photographers, it's to clients. Mm-hmm. I want prospective clients to read that post. Because I hear so many people, hey, how many photos are we gonna get? How many photos are we gonna get?
Right.
They talk about money. They talk about and I don't blame them. Like when I got married or when I was planning my wedding, I you're thrown into this industry that you know nothing about.
Right.
98% of the people I work with have never been married before. 100% have never been photographed before. So they're just thrown into this world of like, I don't know the right questions to ask. They literally don't have the language to ask the right questions. So we have to give that to them. So that was my attempt at being like, okay, listen, if someone does come across this blog post and they read it, I basically lay out a bunch of questions in there. Like, has your wedding photographer, has the person that you chose to photograph your wedding asked you these questions? Do they know about you? Do they know about these moments that are happening on your wedding day? Because long and short, if you have 1,000 photographs, but you don't emotionally connect to them, it just doesn't matter. There's no value in that for the client.
Right.
And if they spend $2,000 on that or $3,000 on that, the number doesn't matter at the end of the day. And so many people ask questions that do not matter about the delivery process. So, 1,000 photographs don't really matter if they're not gonna look at those photographs or feel a real connection to them. But yeah, one photograph, man. If we nail one photograph that reminds the client of all the emotions they had on the day, of how they felt, and it really just like brings up all these emotions for them, I really feel like we've done our job.
Right.
Because we see it in history books. We see it every day. We see photographs that remind us of a war. We see a photograph that reminds us of a decade. We see a photograph that reminds us of what? I mean, there's fill in the blank.
Right.
But if one photograph can remind us of the state of the condition of the world, one photograph, I'm pretty sure we can do the same thing as wedding photographers. We can find that one photograph that is going to show them the condition and the emotion of their wedding day. And dude, we live in a world with photos everywhere,
right.
everywhere. So many, just Google images. And those photographs do not show the condition in the world.
No.
So yeah, I mean, I'm ranting at this point.
No, I like where it's going, and actually I just want to throw it out to Photo World. Go to thisisfeeling.com, browse around there, check out that blog post of why one photograph is better than 1,000, because it's a good read and it makes a lot of sense to me, and especially wedding photographers. I think it's a good idea to kind of just understand that maybe you shouldn't be selling all this quantity stuff. Just I shoot 2,500 pictures and you get them all. It's like, yeah, if that's all you're doing, just the shoot and burn wedding, maybe that's not the greatest. It can work for you. That can work. It works for a lot of people, but
yeah,
there could be a different approach. Maybe you can get an aha moment out of reading through, what other people are doing and seeing how it works. Don't copy them though, because that's kind of stupid. It's already been done, So
yeah. No, I feel that, and gosh, it's like there's so many good photographs out there. Like I'm blown away by the quality of photographs by photographers, even beginner photographs. They're pumping out such incredible work. But I realize that there's totally cap to that. We're just going to keep seeing prettier and prettier and prettier and prettier photographs. And I don't know if I want to live in a world of pretty photographs any longer. And that's been my drive for the last year, is trying to get a message out of depth. I truly, Rob, I truly want other photographers to know this, that there is access to depth as a wedding photographer. Even if you're in your first year of photography, there's access to depth. And I think it's a greater challenge. But it's so much more rewarding, and it's going to raise your value. It's going to raise the value of that client. And it's going to be meaningful, and it's actually going to have impact on that client's life in the future as well.
For sure. Yeah. Ben, during your photography career so far, what is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh man. The best advice. Advice. I can't say there's been one piece of advice that's been great. I will say I invested in a business coach, and that was one of the best things I ever did for my business. And through being coached, I got lots of advice.
Yeah.
And that has definitely been like the biggest change in my company is changing my attitude to being coachable and taking that advice from someone that I trust.
I think that's the hardest part in getting a coach or finding a mentor, is changing your attitude to being coachable. You have to be ready to absorb what they have to say. You have to be ready to make the changes they're suggesting. And it's not because they have the answers, but it's because they understand business and how you work. And then, try this and see what you can do with that and take it to the next level. And I think Photo World, if you can swing getting a business coach, it's not a bad idea. There are a lot of great ones out there, Be careful though, because there's a lot of phonies out there.
Yeah.
And if you can't go to that level, that's okay. Find a mentor, somebody you trust, some local photographer who you can work with or study with. Just go and get coffee and chat with them a little bit, just to pick their brain or see what you can offer them. There's nothing wrong with that intimate networking to the point of having a mentor rather than, just seeing whose business card you can grab,
Yeah, and anything and anybody that you invest into, you have to be really wise about it, because you can't just throw your money at people and expect results. Like, it has to be the right business coach. It has to be like the right photographer. It has to be the right marketing campaign. It has to be the right advertising website. I hear so many photographers saying, "Oh, I spent money on this and this and this, and it didn't work." And then all these people complain about it, and it's like getting the right, creating the right investment is really, really important. And if you do get a business coach, investing in the right business coach is going to be is really going to make the difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's no quick get rich scheme, for this business, this industry especially. You can't just pour money into something and it's going to be amazing and come back tenfold. It's going to be the changes you make in your business. It's going to be the choices you make and the people you connect with, and then what you do with it, the work you put into it. So, be careful, photo world. It's a dangerous zone to walk into when you start trying to, I'm going to try marketing. I'm going to, fudge some budget stuff here and see if I can pay off some marketing.
And I'll tell you, like, I was taking this workshop one time called Art in the Heart with Dan O'Day and Sam Blake out in New York City. And I remember one thing that Dan said, like, it kind of blew my mind. He's an incredible photographer, wedding photographer from Australia, and he actually did invest into a business coach. And I think, like, the one thing he had to say about it, he's like, "Oh yeah, I invested." He's like, "I invested like $30,000 into a business coach for 1 year," and he's like, "The one thing I got out of it was to put together a daily schedule." So yeah. Like, he spent $30,000 and he felt like the only thing he got out of it was like, here's my daily work schedule and this is what I can follow to be more disciplined. Or, I mean, that's the message I got from him. But dude spent $30,000 and that's the one thing he got out of it. And you just have to be aware of that like sometimes you will invest a lot into an avenue that might only teach you one thing. But I don't know, maybe for Dan that was worth the $30,000. That's not the impression I got from him, but I am glad that he got something out of it.
Well, and there you go, Photo World. You just got a $30,000 tip of just make a daily schedule and follow it. Just get your production line in order, On a lighter note, Ben, do you have an app or internet resource you think Photo World can benefit from knowing about?
Yeah, for sure. Studio management software, absolutely, hands down. I use Tave. You can find that at my.tave.com, and that's my.tave.com. There are loads of studio management softwares out there. I definitely have opinions about all of them, but long and short, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, the opinion. Get studio management software. If you're an individual photographer or trying to or if you are running a business, a $25 monthly commitment, it is literally, I mean, it saves me like 30, 40 hours a month. It's so worth the investment.
Yeah. I mean, that's a small price to pay for a business, just to make sure you can keep things on task on a monthly basis. So that sounds good. I've never heard of the Tave one, so I'm going to have to take a look, because that sounds good.
It's solid, man. Great company.
Very cool. So can you tell us about a recent or upcoming project, maybe something you've been doing aside from the business just to expand your portfolio or just get more involved with the photo community, something you're getting excited about these days?
Yeah, totally. I'm making a new photo booth, actually, and
nice.
I'm like crazy excited about it. For a long time, I was kind of self-conscious about it because, another photo booth. But I am actually really, really excited about it because I specifically made this photo booth for creative photographers who are terrible with working with other people. So that's my thing right now. I'm really excited about it. I'm releasing it as a national brand in January. It's been a ton of fun to work.
Very cool. Well, we're looking forward to the launch on that, and we'll have links to you and your social media so that way Photo World can keep up on it and take a look when it comes out. So that sounds pretty awesome.
Totally.
Before we go, could you do me a favor and share one parting piece of guidance with Photo World here, and then the best way that we can get in touch with you, whether it be your website or some sort of social media, and then we'll say goodbye.
Yeah, totally. Guys, I already said it. My mantra, it's not about you. Next time you're running into a situation, I just want you to just give it a try for like one day. I mean, you can do it. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling a lack of motivation, if you're looking at a client email and you're like, this is freaking ridiculous, just think for a moment. Just say it's not about you. Fill in your name at the end, comma, and then put yourself in that client's shoes and try to think about the situation from their point of view. And I think you're going to see some magic. And yeah, that's it, man. I think if people want to reach me, give me a call direct. I'm way better on the phone. You can reach me at 630-640-2362. Otherwise, check out the website, www.thisisfeeling.com. I'm terrible at social media, but
it's all right. Actually, we'll have thisisfeeling.com, and I'll add your phone number there to the show notes page on takingtalkpics.com. And also, I already pulled up your social links that you have on your website, so we'll link those in there so people can stay connected and see what you've been doing. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ben, I cannot thank you enough for your time today and sharing such great value. Photo World thanks you, and happy shooting.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Photo World, are you looking for a way to rebrand your business, or maybe you just haven't found the perfect look to get it started? 99 Designs offers everything you need as far as logo design, business card design, even website design, setting you up for the right strategy and having that perfect look from start to finish. Head to takingtalkpics.com under the resource tab and hit our affiliates page. From there, you can go straight to 99 Designs where you can get started today. Takeandtalkpics.com, thank you again for joining us today, and we really appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you share this with your friends and photo family out there. We'll see you next time. This is Rob Kruger. Happy shooting.